Right guys, I'd like to say thank you for joining me today. Basically what we're going to be reviewing today is Surviving the Aftermath, which is actually from the same company that brought us Surviving Mars. Now the company has announced that they're going to be doing quite a few of these surviving style games. Surviving the Aftermath is currently available in the game preview stages, early access on the Xbox One. I bought this game for about £16. From what I've read on the company's website, it does say as the game goes further into the preview stages, they are going to be upping the price as more features become available. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this game now, and instead of just jumping in without the tutorial, I'm going to enable the tutorial so that you can see how the basic game kind of plays. So let's go ahead and say yes to the tutorial. What you can see here, as we before we start the game, you have to choose a difficulty level for the game that most suits your style. Now you are going to notice the further we move along the top selection process, it is going to get harder. So right now, if I choose the first one, obviously I'm at difficulty 6%. If you choose the second one, you go up to 11%, which I'm telling you now is very hard. To be totally honest with you, it might not seem hard, but it is. The third one, well, enough said. It's typically very hard to do. You will find, if you've never played the game before, you will die very, very quickly. Or your colony will die very, very quickly. So what we're going to do, we're going to choose the first one, which means we get temperature is humid. Well, temperature's temperature, it's standard temperature, and then you've got like a humid atmosphere. Your soil is 40% fertile, which obviously is going to make our game a hell of a lot easier to begin with. So let's go ahead and choose that. Now, the catastrophes, I'm telling you now, even though the first one states that the catastrophes happen occasionally, it doesn't really matter when they occur, because if you get 3 of the exact same catastrophes, your colony is going to die instantly. And I'm telling you now, yeah, each catastrophe is very, very damaging to your colony. But either way, we're going to go with the occasional, which means the contamination level about 20%. So let's go for that. When it comes to resources, guys, as you can see at the top, my difficulty level is going up the more that I move along each of these selection process. Again, if we go for number 3, there's hardly any resources that you can collect, okay? So if you are new to the game, I suggest that you don't go for the third one. Again, new to the game, I suggest you don't go for the second one, because again, resources are very, very hard to come by. The first one, resources are scattered completely throughout your map, so you'll find that it's very, very easy to gather those resources and play the game, which you will see when I start. So let's go for the first one. Now, your survivors. If you was to start on number 3, again, very, very hard. It's the hardest difficulty. Second, a tiny bit harder than the first one, but again, you're going to struggle if you're new to the game. The first one makes it very easy to kind of start your colony. So if you do remember Surviving Mars, guys, remember that was very, very tough. When you actually chose how many colonists you wanted to start with on the red planet, as they say. So let's go for the very first one, which means we get 8 adults and obviously 4 children. Now those children, as we move along, will grow into adults anyway. But by that point, you're going to have a good standing colony in your village type area. So as you can see at the top, our difficulty level really has gone up. We're now up to 28%. I'm guessing by the time we get to the end of this, we are going to be up to about 36% difficulty. So let's go for challenge. Easy exploration. Yeah, it's probably the best way to go for a first starter, because the exploration process, when you get specialists within your colony, it's still pretty demanding, the way you have to scout the main map, really, which you will see more of as we go through the game. So we're going to go for some challenges are to be expected. Your gatekeeper. Again, you've got the basic idea now of the difficulty levels, 3 being the hardest, 2nd being middle, and the first one being your easiest. Yes, it is challenging, but of course, again, it is worth the risk. So we're going to go for the first one. Now, because I've obviously bought the game in early access, it means that I get a few added like flag logos to choose from. So what we're going to go for, we're going to go for the founders logo. We're going to stick with the red flag because I love the colour red. Let's go to our naming of our camp. So I'm going to stick with the colony name as it's things. What we're going to do, we'll just randomise it. Okay, so let's go for Valentine. And then obviously our motto will stick with for a better tomorrow. So if we continue, it obviously gives us our summary of how we have set up our base game. I did mention that I thought the difficulty was going to hit about 36%. We've hit 33, which isn't too demanding. I have left the tutorial on so you guys can see how the game plays. We've got an environment which is temperate and humid, plenty of fertile soil. Catastrophes, we've got occasional, contamination low. I'm guaranteeing you now, even though we've got catastrophes occasional, they do happen pretty frequent, so there we go. Resources, we've got plentiful, the map's going to be full of them. We've got 8 adults and 4 children within our colony for start, which is a pretty good setup. Survivors are tough, decisive and determined. The challenge, we've gone for low difficulty, scattered bandit groups. When it says scattered bandit groups, no matter what bandit group you come up against, they are pretty difficult. I will say that now. So if you are going to plan on buying this game at £16, which it is currently available at, I suggest stick it to low difficulty. So my gatekeeper's an architect, means he'll know how the camp's going to be set out. Colony name is Valentine. Colony motto, for a better tomorrow, which I think is a perfect setting for a post-apocalyptic game. So let's get the game started and we'll see how this plays out. I will stress the loading times for this game are actually pretty long, far-fetched out, but I think that's because of how big the map is. For those of you that have played Surviving Mars, I'll also state this game has a very big similarity to the game Banished, which was available on PC a couple of years back. I say a couple of years, a few years back now. So here we go, this is how our camp basically starts up. Your map, you can see, it's pretty far-fetched. It's big. That is what I am going to say to you. Now, as you can see, our colonists are obviously homeless. Before I start building my camp, I'm going to pull out to the world map view. And as you can see here, when we grow our colony and it gets bigger, we will be able to basically explore this map. And again, it's very big and it does expand out the more that you explore it. On the world map, when you do get the specialist, we also have a farm which can be looted for like food or resources, stuff like that. But I'll get more into that when the world map becomes available. But let's go back into our main colony now. So here we go. We've obviously got the tutorial going, so it's going to guide us as we build our first colony. So we'll hit Y up there and we'll hit the basic controls. Basic controls are pretty straightforward. As we play it, because we are playing it on the Xbox, it's a lot more simpler. Okay guys, so let's just confirm that one. We don't really need to go too much into detail about that. And let's click another tutorial that is showing up at the top, which is our colonists. Now, what you'll see here is we've got 12 colonists which are homeless. So, advanced controls, again, we don't really need to go into detail on that. What we're going to do here, while we've got these homeless colonists, let's click on this. They basically want us to build shelter. Now, remember, this is our first colony, so the best way to actually go about this would be if we hit the left trigger button, it brings up obviously our build menu, and you've got various things to build. Now, obviously, we can also do a lot of research, but again, I'll go into that when we reach that point. Now, your basic tent could hold up to 2 people. Unfortunately, we've got 12 colonists that are currently homeless. So what we're going to do is build a emergency shelter, and we're going to build 2 of them because that takes up to our 12. So let's go ahead and do that. Right. As you can see, you can build basically anywhere within the map. Okay, you can go anywhere within the map. What we're going to do, we're going to keep this pretty standard, pretty close together. So let's go and build our first emergency shelter. We'll build another one just to make sure that we can make sure that all our colonists are not homeless. So we'll build a second one there. What we'll do here though, I'm going to speed this up so we can build it pretty fast. Just so we're not wasting too much time while I'm talking through the review. So we'll just wait for both of these to build before we continue. And there you go, you've got basically all your colonists now have homes to go to. Okay, and it obviously tells you when your build's complete. Now, when it comes to gathering resources, as you remember when I was setting up the game, we set it so there was a lot of resources throughout the map. Now if I just come off this for 1 second, you have planks of wood, you've got food, you've got ruins of concrete buildings, you've got all that. Obviously fish ponds, which again I'll get into later. You've got more debris up here. We chose the easiest option, so we do have quite a bit. But what you have to do with this game, guys, is you can't just build a storage area and expect it just to go collecting your resources. You have to basically manually set it up. So we'll click on our storage area, and we've currently got 12 colonists and 8 gatherers. Okay, so it basically means that 3 of those colonists are doing odd jobs around the camp, and the other 8 are like carriers. They will go and collect our resources for us. So let's go to a pretty wide open area where there's a lot of resources to collect. Okay, as you can see, it gives us a decent area. So if we go here, you can see that we've got plenty of resources to collect. We will click on that, and our carriers here will obviously go and collect our resources for us. Again, it's the same with food. You have to manually set it up, and around the map you'll have various like berry trees. Now, even though we can collect these berries, as we go further into the game, you will be able to build like farms and greenhouses and stuff like that the more you unlock. Okay, so what we're going to do to begin with, let's go to an area where there's plenty of food. So we're going to set from here. We get 3 berry trees, and we'll be able to collect that. Again, our carriers will go and collect that food for us. Berry trees do run out very, very quickly. So guys, you have to keep track and keep setting the work area for collecting those berries. Okay, so now it wants us to build a water source. Now they have got a certain way of doing this, which is actually set up to the point of if you build a well in one area and then build a well right next to it, you're gonna get a loss of water because both wells are coming from, well, they're gathering resources from the same area, which is gonna obviously drop how much that well makes. So what you want to do with wells is you want to split them up. So we've got one well here which can cover basically our camp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build another well but I'm going to put it down here, which means it's not going to overlap into this area where that well is collecting from. So let's build that about here. Okay. Now, the colonists will continue gathering our resources. They will go and obviously build the well as instructed. As you can see, they are bringing the resources down from the storage area here. Build times on the game are pretty long, to be totally honest with you. Now, I was a big fan of Banished when it first came out. I was also a really big fan of Surviving Mars. Again, I found with Surviving Mars, though, it was very complicated. There was a lot to remember, a lot to build, a lot that you had to basically do when you were building your colony. Again, there weren't many resources. Well, there were, but you had to try and figure it out. Now, with this game, the interface is pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to remember, and you will find that gathering resources is pretty easy. Building structures, again, is pretty easy. Okay, so we're just waiting for our water source to complete. Obviously, you can see that our colonists are happy. There's plenty going on in the camp-ish at the moment. So we'll just speed this up a tiny bit more, just to get the well built. And now you can see that the well is built. Now that's going to start gathering water as requested, and it's not going to overlap into our other well. What I also am going to do is I'm going to build a water storage. Now, a water tower is going to, when the catastrophes come, you're going to, in certain catastrophes, if there's a heat wave, your colonists are going to drink a hell of a lot more water, which means you need to get it stored. So I'm going to build a water tower to make sure that we have enough resources for when a heat wave hits. Okay. With our water tower, let's shove our water tower right here in the center of these two. Okay. Let's clean our colony up a little tiny bit. I'm going to build some rows down here just so it looks a bit more cleaner. So our colonists have something to go on, so we know exactly where we're, basically how the camp's going to look as it builds up. So we've got that. Let's speed this up a bit so we get our road in there. Again, as you see, everybody's pitching in, everybody's trying to survive. At the start, they will. But I guarantee you, the more colonies you get, you're going to have to keep building more and more shelters, guys, okay? So our roads in there, our water towers in there. That will start gathering water from our wells. Now, there you go. It explains your areas of effect. Wherever you build something, you don't want it to overlap with other buildings, or you're going to struggle on resources or the effects of that building. So, there we go. We got that. As you can see, these guys are still gathering resources over here, and I've just had a notification that it's depleted one. So the more you deplete, the more it's going to tell you that you have depleted that. Again, you have to stay on top of gathering your resources, guys. If you don't, your camp is just going to, well, everybody's going to become affected, and you're going to die off very quickly. Okay, you've got your food. I'm still gathering food up here. That's not too bad. As you can see, berries are almost run out over here. Almost run out over here. And almost run out over here. They do deplete very, very quickly, guys, so stay on top of it. The tutorial is telling us we've got another objective, so let's go for that. And basically it's just explaining what we can see on our world, like, building screen. If I press up on the D-pad, you've got your colonists here. So my colonists are neither sad nor happy. So basically right now they're in the center of things. They think that I'm running this camp to the best of my ability. Okay. It tells you total population. You've got 12 colonists. You've got 8 carriers. You've got 0 workers. You've got 8 adults. You've got 4 children. Okay. Remember, the kids are going to grow up. The children are going to go up as the time goes on. You're going to get a lot more colonists coming to you. You've got your food, your production, your consumption, your jerky, which is coming from the local farm, which is on your world map, which we'll go into more as we go along. Your berries, they're coming in. Your canned fruit, we've got that coming in. Potatoes, we're going to grow that as we go further into the game. Okay, we have production of water, which is 24. We got consumption, which is 12. Again, right now we are pretty level on things. Okay, balance, yeah, it's not too bad. It's in the middle. Storage, we've got 588. Well, we've got 600 now of 900. So again, we've got water stored. Electricity, as we go on, we are going to get electricity, like buildings put in place, such as wind turbines, solar panels, stuff like that. Again, I'll go more into detail as we get that as we go along. Planks of wood, yeah, we've got enough at the moment. Concrete, you saw me gather it when I first started the colony. Plastic, I'm going to go into that in more detail very soon. Metal, again, you're going to see me go into that in a moment. Fibre, again, I'll explain that. Parts, I'll explain that more in detail. Components, again, more detail. Electronics, detail. So all this, we're just going to grow and grow and grow. Okay, guys. So we've got another objective to do. So let's go to this. Now, with your plastics and metal, again, what you have to do, you have to build a recycler for your plastics and a scrapper for your metals. Now, I'm going to tell you now, there's not much plastic or metal on the map. Okay, guys, you're going to run out of these very, very quickly. So we've got plastic over here, we've got 71. That's alright. And we've got metal over here. So they're pretty close together. So let's go into our building menu. Let's keep going for this. And we've got it here, right? This is our resources thing. So what we're going to do for a scrapper is we're going to put him near the metal. Okay? As the game goes along, you are going to end up salvaging this building and rebuilding it somewhere else if you want the resources to come in quicker. Or you're basically just going to keep changing the workplace as you go. As you can see, I want to collect this metal, so I'm going to space my scrapper here. And while I'm here, I'm also going to get a recycler who is going to get our plastic. So let's put that over here. Again, our colonists are going to now build them up. So we'll speed that up for you. Let's just check on our food. Berries are going to be depleted in a minute, like it just has done now. So, we're out of berries. And like I said before, guys, you have to keep moving your work area for this to keep collecting them. So, let's go and collect them here, very close to camp. Resources, again, that's going to be depleted in a minute. So when that depletes, I'm going to change that work area and keep that going. Okay, guys. You'll see in a minute that will become depleted. And there we go. We've run out of wood. So we're going to now change this work area by tapping on the right trigger. And we need more. So I'm going to find an area where there's quite a bit. I've got concrete, I've got wood, and all that stuff. Now, there's also nuclear waste spread out around the map, guys. Now, as you go on your tech tree, which again, I'll go into more detail when we reach the main map, you'll be able to clear that area up. But again, technology research requires research points. Finding them is very, very hard. But when you do find those areas for keeping your technology going, they're very, very resourceful. So I'm just going to set this resource collection to this point, because I've got quite a few in that area. So there we go. These guys are now done. Food is obviously coming in, guys, so we don't have to worry about that as of right now. But what we can do, while we've still got 6 carriers going, it means we've still got people that we can assign for work. So to keep our food coming in, I'm going to build a couple of fields. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the middle here. We'll build a couple, and then we know that we can basically start growing our own crops. Let's speed this up again, guys, to move it along. Just going to check on this, make sure everything's going, which is fine there. That's all right up there. Right, there we go. Our fields are now done, and you can see that it's taken 2 of our carriers off our carrier list, which means they are now going to fill those roles. You don't have to auto assign them, they will fill those roles. As you can see, she's been assigned. Now, we have to set, obviously, what we're going to grow. To begin with, I like to use pardon me, the potatoes, because you can yield quite a lot from this. Yes, they grow slow, but you can, when the catastrophes come, you're going to need a lot of food. So yield what you can yield most of. So let's go for the potatoes on that. And we're going to go for potatoes on this one as well. Just so we got enough food coming in. Okay. We got another task to do. Let's do that. Right, now it wants me to change worker slots, basically. I can either add workers or I can remove workers. Okay, now, these are your best ones. Because these give you a hell of a lot of resources. It gives you fibre, it gives you plastic. Okay, so if we hit the right trigger, we come down to our our worker area. Let's add somebody in there. Let's add somebody in here. So now we've got 2 people working on each of those recycling areas. Okay. Planting crops, we have already done that. So we've gone for potatoes, we've got enough food coming in. As you can see down here. And that is obviously planting 11%. That does move pretty fast. Easy enough. I'm sorry about the coughing, guys. I've been struggling from a very bad cough for the past few days. Really doing my head in. The more we speed this up, you can see it plants a hell of a lot faster. If you want to do that, you can do that. And then obviously it will harvest it on its own. You can choose to harvest it now if you really wanted. But right now there's nothing in there to harvest. So we might as well just let it grow and we'll be fine. So I'm going to slow this game down. Let's go back to our next task. Right, so we have multiple storage types. Your stockpile is what we've already got on camp. Okay. That does fill up very, very quickly. Your food storage, not so much. That's that moves along pretty smoothly because they're always consuming the food, which means you don't really struggle on the amount of food that you can store. But as the game goes on, you can build extra storage like warehousing, general storage. General storage you have to research. The warehouse, again, it can handle a hell of a lot more than just your basic stockpile. Okay, guys. So our field is still planting. We're up to about 80% now. And everything else is moving pretty smoothly. So there we go. That is coming along. We've got our recycler gathering plastic. We've got our scrapper gathering metal. This takes quite a while to deplete, so it's not too bad. Okay. We've still got resources there. And we're about to run out of food here. So let's just wait for that to deplete. And then I can set a new work area. And if you look at it now though, I've only got 2 carriers working, so things are going to start moving along a bit more slowly. But remember guys, our colony will grow, okay? Now, we've had another depletion, which is of course our food, like I said. By hitting the right trigger, we can move our work area. We need more food. So, we can't get both of them in there, so we're not going to go there. Let's go for this one down here. Let's just move that because I might want to build down a little bit. So, what I now want to do, because we want to start bringing more colonists to our colony, we are going to go ahead and we're going to build our gate. Now this is going to open up our world map, which means we're going to get a specialist who can go exploring and bring in even more resources. So we're going to build this. We've got enough resources to build it. So if we just click on the gate, and obviously your gate is situated down here. We're going to build that. And once that is up and running, guys, we're going to then start attracting basically bandits, specialists, other survivor groups throughout the world who are going to come to us asking for refuge. You want to grow this very, very fast if you can. You need to grow it fast, because the more colonists you have, the more work you can undertake as your colony grows, basically. While I've just got a bit of free time, I'm going to put a bit of a road in here, just to even things up a bit. Then I'm going to put one right in front of here, so our colonists can get to their housing with ease. Because I'm part of the Founders Pack, guys, that means I also get the Pathfinder statue, which basically just shows that I bought the game in early access. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build this statue just to make our colony stand out a little tiny bit. And we're going to put this right up here, right next to our water tower. I'm also going to put a few torches in there, just to make our colonists smile a bit more and brighten the place up. And we'll also put some down here, just to keep things flowing. So when it goes dark, we've got light. So let's speed that up again, guys. Let's just get all those decorations built quickly. Still gathering materials over here. We're still gathering food from down here. Okay, guys. Now you've just seen the this like bubble appear on my map. Now if I go down here to my tasks, you can see that they want to talk. Okay, so let's have a look and see what they want to talk about. Basically, they found a landfill. Now they want to go and explore this, just to get an idea on what they found. Now, by doing this, sometimes you are risking going out, because you don't know if your colonists are going to come back injured. If you haven't got a medical tent, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give them permission to go out, which is going to use up a couple of my tools. I've got 7. They're going to run out very, very quickly, guys. So let's give permission. And you can see that they actually came back with great success. Now, not every time will they go out and come back with success, guys. They are going to go out sometimes, and you're going to come back with some very injured colonists, or you're going to lose a few along the way. Okay, so choose which missions you send out your colonists on, because you don't want to risk hurting a child. You don't want to risk hurting one of your colonists if they really are good to your colony in gathering resources or food and stuff like that. So from that, because it was a great success, we got closed. So there we go, we can accept that. I have, however, got one colonist injured, which is this guy here. Now, to treat that person, what I'm going to do, I'm going to build my medical tent. Okay, so let's shove our tent around here. As you can see, we're quickly running out of resources as well, guys. And what I am actually stuck for is planks. Now, to sort this out, not only can you collect it off the map, which I'm going to need to do very, very quickly. So let's collect that. But you can also build a hut that is going to cut planks for you, which you're going to get a steady income. Okay, guys. As you can see, it's telling me that somebody's injured. It's telling me that I need a minute's tent very quickly. Now, unless I get resources, I'm not going to be able to build this. As you can see, it's showing up markers that I can't do this, basically. So let's speed this up. And let's hopefully get as much as we can. So here we go. This is what I was telling you before about the gate. As we built the gate, we've now got a group of people that want to come and get shelter at our camp. Okay, we're going to get 2 adults out of it. We're going to get 1 child. It's not many. As your game progresses, you're going to get more people coming in. You're going to get a hell of a lot more adults coming in. But what we're going to do anyway, we're going to accept that. Okay. Now, by accepting that, we've also opened our world map up, which you can see at the bottom. However, we've also got 3 colonists that are homeless. So to sort that out, what we need to do, and this is just to add open, this is just to give me more space for colonists. I'm going to build another emergency shelter. I'm going to level that off with that one. And hopefully, my resources should come in very quickly. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to now go to the world map and I can explain more on that for you. So here we are on our world map. And when we accepted those survivors into our camp, we also unlocked one of them, which is an expert scavenger, basically. So if we click on him, we can then look around our map, okay? Now, each of these areas are going to yield something. They're going to give us either resources, tech points, or just a building that can be scavenged. Okay. So let's look at this area here, which uses points up, okay? And as you can see, we've found a building that has tools in it. Now, it's not much. 5 tools. However, those tools will come in very handy once his points get back up, okay? So we will go and scavenge this area very soon. But when I come back to it, I'm going to scavenge another area and see if I can find some better points with the word. So let's go back to our main building. You can go between the map, guys, just by hitting the right trigger. So world map, colony, world map, colony. Okay, guys. I'm really struggling for resources now. But hopefully they're going to collect wood so they can build their shelter. Remember, guys, when you if you decide to buy this game while it's in the early access stages, there are quite a few bugs. When I first started the game, I found that it crashed quite frequently, but now that they've actually put an update in place, it doesn't crash all that much. It's pretty stable, so you are going to get your replayability factor out of it. It's just about surviving and seeing how long you guys can go for, okay? You don't have to build your colony like I've built mine. You can build it in whatever way you want. You can space it out as much as you want. That makes you feel comfortable, okay? So we've still got berries coming in there. And we still have storage coming in here, basically. Resources. As you can see, the world map has just flashed for us, which means our specialist has got his points back. He can do more scavenging. So, let's go back to him. Now, instead of going straight to this builder, I'm going to look for another province and see if there's anything in here. Again, I found some electronic parts. Now, at this early stage, I don't need electronic parts because I haven't got any electricity within my camp. I don't want to rush the electricity part in the camp because sometimes you get catastrophes which can knock out your power and then you're just going to waste all your components, okay? I want to build the camp up before I delve into the electricity side of things. So I'm still waiting for this founder's statue to be built. Looks like I'm struggling for metal at the moment, but we'll get there. We will get there, guys. And again, because we've built this, it looks like we've got a wandering merchant. So let's take a look and see what he's got. Again, unfortunately, with certain merchants, you are going to pay a hell of a lot of resources out. Now, I haven't got enough resources to pay out for this guy. However, again, even if I had it, I might not want to buy what he's selling. Mainly because, would you rather your colony suffers in resources so you can get a quick head start on stuff and then worry that you might not find that resource again, or would you rather make it like reject him? I'm going to go for a no deal, but before I do that, let's have a look what else he's got. Again, he wants some of your valuable stuff. so you can do it. We've got food, we don't need it, we've got it growing. Fibre, we can get that, don't worry about that. So let's go no deal, guys. And obviously he's going to leave and leave us to it. So we're still building our founder statue up here. Trying to get metal, which we are very, very low on at the moment. And we've only got 3 carriers as well. As you take a look up here. 3 carriers, 7 workers, 10 adults, 5 children. Total population is 15. We are going to grow this as we go, guys. Got more crops coming in. Crops and food, not too bad. Water storage. We have 900 stored, so it's not too bad. Consumption is only 15. We're producing 25, so balance is pretty alright in camp at the moment. Still got plastic coming in, and we've still got metal coming in. This place is still building our metal up. What I'm going to do here, just in case we get a catastrophe, I'm going to add another worker in the medical tent. Just in case anybody gets injured. Let's go back to our world map, guys, because we've got a specialist ready for action. Again, I'm not going to collect these components right now. I'm going to go and scout out another large area. Which unfortunately I ran out of activity points, so we'll wait for that to rebuild before we search this province out. So back to our main camp, guys. See, to me, the graphics for this really does remind me of Banished. It's the same kind of setting. Banished was like starting a new settlement in like a snowy region or very cold region or very warm region. With this, your world is pretty spread out. It's there's been a post-apocalyptic event. There's no cutscenes to explain this. It would be good if they had cutscenes. Well, maybe as the updates go along, they might actually add cutscenes into it to flesh out a bit of a story. I'm really looking forward to see what they can actually do with this game. But it is basically about growing your settlement and just getting as many resources as possibly, and just surviving, you know. And as the game goes on, you are going to obviously get a lot more resources, a lot more new buildings, and your game is going to grow very, very fast. Obviously, I can do more reviews on this as time goes forward, but I'm going to leave the review at this point. However, what I am going to say, guys, is if you are really into Banished or any base building type of simulation, then Surviving the Aftermath really is for you. I like Surviving Mars, I loved Banished, and to be honest with you, I'm only playing this game in the early access stages, but I really feel that this game is going to grow into something big. Paradox Interactive, who are developing the game, they're doing a really good job of it so far. Like I said, guys, if you want to play this game, then head over to the Xbox store. Give it a buy. It's currently only £16 for what I got it for on the Xbox game preview page, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's also available on PC if you guys enjoy playing on your desktop computers. So let's leave the review here. So far, I'll give the game a good 9 out of 10. Mainly because there's a lot to do and the graphics are pretty good. There's plenty of resources on the map to get you started on the easiest difficulty. And the reward system as you go, the more colonists you get, you find that it becomes a living, breathing community. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys go and give it a buy. I will obviously return to this settlement in the near future to show you guys how it does. But for now, I'm going to leave the review there, and I hope you guys tune in for my next video where we can revisit this settlement. Cheers, guys, and I'll speak to you very soon.